This is Nancy, and welcome back to Nan's Next Knots. Now, we're looking at doing a crochet along. Since we're all home and enjoying ourselves and looking for our next creative project, I thought I'd come up with this. And between my two videos yesterday and some email I received, it looks like we have at least probably 10 people that want to join us in this crochet along. So I did a sample of what I thought our project would be. Excuse all the strings. They are still connected to their balls because I'm going to, after I show this, I'm going to frog this all out so I can use this yarn. So I didn't snip the ends so that I could reuse it. So what I did here in this sample is I did a beginning stitch, and I used the double chainless foundation row on it. You could also do a chain foundation. My experience has been with the way I crochet that I always use at least a size bigger hook than I intend on using on the body, or maybe even 2 hooks if you're just going to do a chain. But I did the chainless foundation on this, and so what it'll be is 3 rows of solid, just double crochet. Now, you know what? You might want to do single crochet. There's no rules here. We're just going to do this together. And so I did 3 solid as my beginning, and then let's pretend that I picked the numbers. And I came up with this number for this yarn, and I went ahead and did a solid double row, and this is a double chain skip double. It's just the lace stitch, I think they want to call it, and it makes these windows. Because you could do it solid if you want. I just don't. I like it to be like flexible. I don't like a stiff type of blanket. So also by doing 3 rows, like I explained yesterday in my temperature blanket video, what it does is the ends that you will weave in will be on this side for this color. For this next color, it'll be on that side. So what it does is alternate your ends, because I don't like all my ends on the same side. Then when you weave them in, it seems like that side, maybe just in my mind, but that side would be heavier. So that's mainly the main reason for the 3 rows of each color. So we'll use your main color, and then I'll draw a number which will coordinate with your yarns, and then you'll do the 3 rows of that color, and then you'll do another of the main. And then the next week I'll draw another number, and you'll do that. And so you're doing ultimately 6 rows of your blanket, however long you choose to do it, however your length is. Now, if you want to make a scarf or a lap afghan or whatever, however you want to do it, and then I'll just draw a number which will indicate, or it'll pick our color changes for us. That's kind of fun. So what I did is I took my yarns that I showed yesterday. You know, like I had some of this left over from a blanket that I did. I had this left over from yarn that I bought and didn't really care a lot for, that I took back and got this yarn. And then I have partial skeins left from a blanket that I did previously. So this can be a stash buster. And let's see, what else I got in here? I got another partial. So I picked 8 colors that I want to do. So I did this sheet and I numbered it 1 to 8. I have my main color, And then, you know, I've assigned a color for each number. You know, so that's like number 1. You know, you get the idea. And then I have an extra down here that's gray because I have gray here. There's not a lot of it, so I'll probably only get one section out of it. So I've picked another gray to be like on standby when that runs out. So that's a good idea too that you can do. So I went ahead and did my foundation row for the blanket that I'm making. And I measured this. It is 94 inches long. That may change because I have this foundation double stitch chainless foundation row here. And the reason I picked that is because if you know how to do it, there's lots of videos out there, but it makes it, it's stretchy. Once I learned to do this, I used to just chain it and then crochet, double crochet across it. But this is more forgiving, and through a life of a blanket, I think this would work better if you know how to do it. If you're interested in seeing how to do it, there's all kinds of videos out there. If you happen to know the chainless single foundation, you could do your first row of that. Or you could do all of it that. However you really want to do it. My thing here is to have fun, use some stash. We'll pick numbers that'll designate our alternating colors. So there'll be like 8 of them. And let's see, when you chain your chain, it will work. You want to have an odd number. And I'll explain that again here too, because when I do a blanket, I like to have kind of a border on each side. So where I'm doing these windows, I always start out with 3 double crochets in a row. So that kind of makes it solid along this edge. So I do 3 before I start chaining and skipping. So it kind of gives it a little bit more structure on your edges. And if you know, I find sometimes that my edges look really good and I don't even need to trim them. But now on this, if I was going to trim it, I'd trim it in this purple. Just kind of like my temperature blanket that I showed yesterday. That if I'm going to trim it, I'll be trimming it in that gray that I have. So there's a lot of similarities between this and my temperature blanket. So on my temperature blanket, it is every Wednesday is like this. But it's only a two row repeat. Okay, so you could go ahead and do your foundation and your first 3 rows. And depending on the interest that I get, we could be picking numbers and get started. It looked like there's going to be at least 10 people that want to do this. So I'm using a J hook. My hook of preference is just a simple boy hook. I don't want any fluff or stuff here. Just this old school, simple. I like J with worsted weight. A lot of people, you know, you might range from H. To me, H is too tight and stiff for something like this. I want it to be, you know, flexible. So, let's see. Your number of chains should be odd. Because with this chaining, skipping, you need to have an odd number of chains. Make it as long as you want. And that's about it on that. So choose your numbers and your colors. And then I made numbers to pick from. And I'm sure that we probably all want to get started. My thought is I could get on here something like every Thursday morning and draw a number, and that'll tell us what color is for that week. Something like that. Let me know your feelings about that. your thoughts, suggestions, anything like that in the comments below. Oh, also, I know all of you probably aren't in Ravelry, but if you are, I went in and created a group there. So look for Luck of the Draw, CAL, for Crochet Along. And you should find our group where you can go in and make comments, you can post pictures and stuff like that. I also have a Facebook, Nan's Next Knots Facebook, and I went in there and posted this picture of this sample, and you guys can go in and post pictures too. And I actually have some prizes, so we can add some prizes to this and make it even funner. How is that? You know, since we're all home and looking for something creative to do, I think we could all have fun with it. So let me know your comments below. And if everybody's geared up and ready, I could probably come on tomorrow. I mean, this is supposed to be pretty much a stash buster, so pick your main color, something that you got a few skeins of. And like I said, these other colors could be partial skeins. I'm trying to make it to where people can use what they got at home. This kind of stuff, little balls, not so much, unless you want to combine them on a section. So I'll draw the numbers, and it will it'll coordinate with your colors. And we have a main one that's going to be kind of the stable all-together color, and then each one of these will be different. So let me know when you want me to start drawing. Could be as soon as tomorrow, just depends on how many people are eager to get started. So thank you for joining me, and I think this is going to be fun. Let me know if you want to participate and your ideas about it in the comments below. Talk to you later. Thank you for coming back to Nan's Next Knots.